Today on Positive Talk Daily, should you stick to the standard Switch or upgrade to the Switch 2? We'll go over that now on Mr. Positive. Now, the standard Switch is well over, about 8 years old now. It was released in 2017, about 9 years old, and still is one of the best-selling systems Nintendo's ever released. There are several reasons why I haven't purchased a Switch 2 just yet, because first off, it's only been out over a month, and you never want to buy a brand new system within the first month or 2 months. I usually wait within 6 months to a year. That way the system has a chance to develop video games, and that way you're not just stuck using standard Switch games. Now, the new Switch, the Switch 2, does come with larger buttons from our standard controller. Let me show you that right now. So your standard Nintendo Switch will have just these tiny little buttons, and it's a little uncomfortable, especially if you have big hands. And the top has these little shoulder buttons, and they're not that clicky. The new Switch 2, though, has much larger buttons. The Joy-Cons are much larger, and they're now magnetic, so you don't have to worry about taking them off by doing this. You can just simply, they're magnetic, and they snap into place with the magnetic strip. Now these, you have to push the little button in the back, so there are some advantages to the Switch 2. You're also getting 120 hertz refresh rate. You're also getting, if you do have older Switch games, they will run at a higher frame rate, so you will have games that run a lot better on the new Switch 2, so that's a benefit with older Switch 1 games. You can also get upscaling. Nintendo is allowing you to buy older games that have had a patch added to those, like Zelda and a lot of the Mario games and some other games that, could use the extra frame rate, because the standard Switch was only a 60 hertz refresh rate, and it was only 720p when you're playing it in portable mode, and as soon as you dock it, it was 1080p. So now you're getting the ability with the Switch 2, you're getting an almost 8-inch screen, much larger Joy-Cons, and they're magnetic, which is great, and you're getting way more power under the hood. Companies like Xbox are looking to put some of their games on there from the Game Pass. Xbox is looking to bring some games over there. The sales have been really, really good for the Switch 2. Now, really the question is, if you're coming from a Switch 1, should you really... Now, with the new Switch, you are getting slightly larger Joy-Cons, larger buttons, which does make a difference. But if you have a standard Switch, especially in the first year of development for a Switch 2, I think it's always best to hang on to the older hardware. Now, you are getting larger volume buttons, 2 Type-C buttons, better cooling. Now that the actual docking station has actual cooling, you're also getting a larger kickstand for it, and it gives you the ability to do a little bit more. Like I said, the Joy-Cons also got a little bit larger and larger analog sticks, which means probably less analog drift. We saw a large issue with analog drift with the original Switch 1 system, because the Joy-Cons were so the analog sticks were so tiny. Larger buttons means, better gameplay, more comfortable gameplay as well. You can also use the Joy-Cons as a mouse pad if you plan on playing, like if you're on a PC. And you're getting a larger screen at 7.9 inches and magnetic strips to put the controllers in its place. The Switch 2 may be worth it thanks to the 120 hertz refresh rate. Now the question really is, should you, upgrade to a Switch 2? And the answer is not right now. Yes, you are getting better, higher refresh rates. Yes, you are getting, if you're playing older Switch titles, you may see a resolution bump. You may also see a faster refresh rate. But if you're just playing, say, Mario Kart 8, if you're using this as a glorified Mario Kart World system,
There's just not enough games right now, even after a month of launch, that you should really go out and fork over and buy some money for this. Now, maybe by Christmas and the holiday season, by then they've had a new Madden released, maybe a possible Call of Duty game. There's also talks of, NHL game coming to the Switch 2, and a bunch of massive titles coming to the Switch 2. Right now, there is a Donkey Kong game, there is a new Kirby game coming out. There is NBA 2K26 coming soon, and Madden NFL 26 as well, coming to the Switch 2. Which I think the last time we saw a NFL game on a Nintendo console was the Wii U, and I believe that was Madden NFL 13. So a long time ago, well over 10 years ago, since the last time a Nintendo system saw a Madden title. Okay, Nintendo is doing the right thing. Sales are at an all-time high in Japan and other countries, and even here in the United States. The problem right now is with the Switch 2 is keeping them in the stores. I was able to walk into our local Target. There were like 2 in stock, and they were gone within an hour. They are a little bit expensive right now. We're looking at $450 just for a standard edition Switch with no game. And then it's $500 just to get a pack-in title like Mario Kart World. So I would say for right now, your best bet is to hang on to the original Switch and stick to that for now. Now, yes, over time, support for the Switch 1 will probably start to dwindle, as we've seen with Nintendo consoles in the past. How long will they keep the Switch 1 online? I'd say maybe 3 or 4 years. The downfall right now with Nintendo releasing these consoles is you're not allowed to download older games. You can't mod the system, which I don't blame Nintendo. They will actually lock the console down on the Switch 2. And even if you try to jailbreak a Switch 1, they've even tried to shut down those systems as well. Nintendo is very protective when it comes to their first-party supported titles like Zelda, Mario, and Kirby, and a lot of the other games that they make. The thing is with older hardware, something like the Switch, something like the Wii U, you're able to mod, add Pretendo, you're able to still get Mario Kart 8 to go online. So there are some advantages by having older hardware, because you could still download games like Mario World, Super Mario Land 3. You could download Super Nintendo games if you wanted to. You could add your own collection from your own ROM files. Nowadays, you can't do that because Nintendo will break the console down. They won't allow you to even purchase them in the store unless it's a collection or something. Now, Nintendo don't even want you to own the copy. They make you go out and spend $3 for Nintendo or $21 a year just to have the option to be able to use their catalog of games, which is like a Netflix service. And then when the servers go down, you won't have the ability to have those games. So it'd be nice if Nintendo would backlog a lot of the games you might have bought in the past, even from the Wii U shop. You should have all those games in the cloud, kind of like Xbox does with Xbox Live. If you have Xbox Game Cloud, if you downloaded purchased games, you should have the advantage to download older games from older systems. Maybe you have a Nintendo account that goes all the way far back as 3DS and the Wii U and the original Wii. Have that backlog so you could use those games on your Switch or Switch 2. The only issue is that Nintendo don't want you to be able to purchase those older games, which they used to do. Now you got to buy it as a catalog service, and you don't even own the games. It is, as soon as those servers go down, you lose access. And as soon as Nintendo Switch is no longer online, give it about 2 or 3 years. Once they shut those servers down, maybe 4 years, depending on how well the Switch 2 sells, you'll lose access to those games that you would have with your Nintendo Online account. Think twice before buying a Switch 2 when it comes to doing things you might want to do, like modding and stuff like that. I would decide to keep either the original Switch or buy a Wii U used and mod the crap out of that. I'm not saying you can't buy a Switch 2. Go for it. For Mr. Positive Live, I'm Mr. Positive. Right now, the Switch 2 is just not worth it with not enough games. And it's too expensive.